Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your weekly Bitcoin analysis for the week of Monday, January 26th, 2026. I like to start with the big picture here. You can see a long-term 5-year channel top that we settled above for the first time back in November of 24. We collapsed back to it during the early second Trump administration and the tariff talk. We never closed back below this, though. It did hold despite all the spikes below it on an intra-week basis. And having continued to hold above this, we maintained the 122,433 full wave count as our next big picture objective. And this still remains a long-term resistance area that still remains in reach again, holding above the upper 80,000 region, 8736, really in combination with 86,009, which I consider to be the more significant. A rising channel bottom basically defines upward momentum following that November 22 low. We've got a series of higher highs and higher lows, and that remains intact above 86,009. In fact, on the way up, we do need to close above 95,945, which is the high of the low that was put out back in the middle of November. If we can close above the structure, one that we actually did test a few weeks ago, if we can close above 95,945, then the 122,433 looks likely again, probably within about 2 to 3 months. That 122,433 is likely again anyway, I'd say by the middle of the year, holding above 86,009. And on the way up, we do have, a series. We've got a 50% at 103,415. We have the low of the high of 113,105. These are two key areas. Closing above 95,945, expect 103,415 within 1 to 3 weeks. Closing above 103,415, expect 113,105 within another 3 to 5 weeks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all the way up to, well, potentially not only 122,433, but holding above this 3-year channel bottom at 86,009 does allow the 3-year channel top at 137.82. Not anytime soon, of course, but, there's plenty of precedent. We've got this August of 24 low, and we've got a Dece 24 high. This is like a 5-month move. I don't see that happening here, but that's the equivalent. Within 3 to 5 months, it's potentially possible. Closing above 122,433 in the months ahead would then signal this within another month or two, where at 137.82 we can reach an extreme and fall away from here as we move on a multi-month basis. Closing below 86,009 does set up a 3 to 5 week objective. Near-term swing traders at 77,668, where we could bounce nicely for a week, a month, possibly back to 86,009. But it really is a settlement below 86,009. I think has even longer term bearish implications where we could test the 57,664. This is a like an 8-9 year channel bottom. It really is the trend support, ultra long term for Bitcoin. If we close this week below 86,009, I think you can anticipate this as a 3 to 5 month objective or sooner, where we could bottom out not only through the rest of the year, but even through the rest of the decade as it relates to Bitcoin. I think that pretty much rounds it out. I am going to leave it at that for this week's Bitcoin analysis. You have a great week.